Welcome to Chamber Chat.
Hi, I'm Jason Watson, Chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to today's Chamber Chat. With me is Mr. Keith Thibodeaux, campaigning for District Judge Division F. Keith, we'd have a few questions for you today. You have an interesting story about your career. Can you please share your story with us?
Yes. Well, first of all, Jason, BMSC, thank you very much for being with us here today. Sometimes, in our looking back on life, we look back on our careers, usually the first thing we do. And mine actually began, as you're growing up, little Johnny might want to be a fireman, little Susie might want to be a nurse, and so forth. Believe it or not, I always wanted to be a Louisiana State Trooper. My wife, now of 37 years, Bonnie, and I had the discussion before we were married of my choice to be a Louisiana State Trooper. She said, listen, firmly but intently, she said, perhaps you should choose something in the legal field. I'd hate to get that knock on the door at midnight and I'm now a widow and our children no longer have a father. So that was always sitting on the back of my mind, that someday I would pursue some career in the legal field. But my best friend and I, in our junior year, right prior to senior year in high school, we were seeing our friends graduating and putting welding machines in the back end of the truck. And in our mind, they were making big bucks. So of course, as 17, 18-year-olds, we were like, that's what we want to do. Well, long story short, our high school principal allowed us to earn our two credit hours that we had for our senior year and in the summer prior to our senior year. And at the same time, he and I went for an electrician certificate, which we did obtain. That electrician certificate allowed us to graduate basically both with our high school diploma together with, of course, our electrician certificate. Well, neither he or I had planned for the downturn in the oil and gas industry. Unfortunately, what's happening today, again, with many of us in this COVID-19 pandemic. We went on, yes, I worked offshore like my dad did, a career supply boat captain for all of his life, working here, St. Mary Parish. Long story short, the downturn in the industry just took a toll on everyone. And it was at that point in time, Bonnie and I were still dating. I said, listen, I've got to position myself one day, if I'm going to go somewhere in the legal career, I'd better get over to and get a college degree. So we did. Back then it was called USL, now UL, of Lafayette, obtained a business degree. Again, as life would have it, worked for about a year and a half as both a purchasing agent and as an accountant. Unfortunately, then not only did the oil and gas industry turn down, but we also had a turn down in the banking industry, which I'm sure you may recall. Long story short, Jason, that then led me to, okay, we need to make that decision. If we're going to ever become someone in the legal field, we need to do so now. And discussed it with my then wife, Bonnie, and she said, as I did, that if I thought of becoming an attorney at that early age. Again, after obtaining the business degree, after unfortunately serving as an accountant and a purchasing agent, I said, now's the time, economy's not good. Bonnie and I packed up, went over to Baton Rouge to LSU Law Center. She taught as an elementary school teacher in Ascension Parish. I obtained my law degree, of course, clerked for a judge right here in St. Mary Parish, Judge Robert, whom many refer to as Buddy Fleming. At the end of my 1 year of clerkship, I think really my life and career began with, fortunately, his very astute advice. He told me, he said, why don't you go over to St. Margaret? They've got an attorney there who's been practicing for over 40 years, Mr. Burke Willis. I'm sure he would love to have you as an associate. So we went there. I interviewed with Mr. Willis, and what holds true today is what he told me in the interview. He said, he called me Chief. Don't ask me where I got that nickname from, but he called me Chief. He said, Chief, he said, listen, this law office has been here since the 1930s. My uncle, myself, my brother, all lawyers. If someone walks through that front door with legal issues who has a fighting chance in the courtroom, we help them. Doesn't matter what area of the law it is, doesn't matter what station of life they're in. Long story short, here we are 30 years fast forward, and we're here. I've been serving as that attorney for the people for the past 30 years in all areas of the law. Been extremely fortunate. That has led me to today being an attorney, not only in the courtroom, but out of the courtroom, who again has helped people in all areas of the law for the past 30 years. And here we are now, again, as I seek the judgeship for Division F of the 16th Judicial District Court. I want to put that experience to work for the people.
Excellent. Great. Good to hear.
Thank you, Jason.
You really did a good job of recapping your background. Excellent. My question to you then would be, what are your qualifications for the office of District Judge for Division F? You told us about who you worked with. How exactly does that play into your qualifications for this?
Certainly, Jason, certainly. We, again, with this 30 years experience helping people through all areas of the law, again, both in and out of the courtroom, not only have we served as district court representatives, that is attorney, but I've also experienced appellate court practice. Here in Louisiana, if a decision by a local judge, such as the judgeship here, makes a decision, that decision can be reviewed. We have two sides in civil cases. The courtroom handles not only criminal cases, but very often handles civil cases. Well, if you're the plaintiff filing the suit, you may not appreciate that judge's decision. You may think he or she made an incorrect decision totally or partially. Guess what? As the defendant in that particular case, same story, you may feel aggrieved by that judge's decision. The appellate court reviews the judge's decisions. I've had numerous cases, both where I have appealed, together with experiences where, of course, I've had to defend the judgment of the particular district judge. Those two experiences, both in the courtroom, the civil courtroom, again, district court, and the appellate court, I think uniquely qualifies me to use that experience to be a better judge for the people, again, of the 16th Judicial District Court. In terms of qualifications, fortunately, my life experiences, I think, have a big part to play, should in any particular judgeship. Those life experiences with my actual legal experience, again, I think uniquely qualifies me to serve as judge for the 16th Judicial District Court. I want to put that experience and my work life experience to work for the people of this district.
Great. Talking about the people from this district, what can voters expect from the bench if you are elected?
Thank you again, Jason. Very importantly, if I've learned nothing else in the past 30 years, when a member of the public is called into a courtroom, whether that might be voluntarily or involuntarily, for example, in criminal proceedings, that is often the one and only opportunity for a person to obtain justice. Unfortunately, we toss around that word justice quite loosely and different interpretations. I see it after 30 years as something extremely simple. That is, the people deserve a fair chance in the courtroom. Justice is getting a fair shake, considering the evidence that's produced, getting a fair shake from the judge who will make the decision on your case, a decision that is based upon what is the evidence, what law applies to that particular case. Again, my life experiences, my actual experience as a practicing attorney, I think qualifies me. They can expect from me, as I have always exhibited. My staff will tell you the same at my law office. Extremely hardworking. I don't believe in 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. I'm the earliest one on the block at my particular law office, and I'm the last one to leave. I want to put that hard work, that experience, that fairness to work for people so that they can obtain justice that is a fair shake in the courtroom.
Okay. That's a good job of recapping those things. What makes you different from the other candidates running for this position?
Number one, Jason, again, I've always served as the people's attorney. I've represented people from all walks of life. I may represent today a doctor, tomorrow I may represent a grieving widow whose husband has passed away and is worried about what property rights she might have in the estate of her deceased husband or deceased wife, as it may be. I've represented also persons in family law matters. All of those things basically allow me to serve as the people's judge. What I mean by that is, just as I've been the people's choice to serve as their attorney for the past 30 years, I think I can use that same experience to work for people who come into my courtroom, to serve them, the people. What I am not, Jason, is either a career prosecutor or a career politician. Unlike my opponents who have served in political positions, switching from one position to another, prosecuting people, which is basically having someone sentenced with some criminal, whether that be jail time, it could be time spent community service. Neither one of those two I have burdening me. What I mean by that is I can truly walk into a courtroom. I don't owe anyone any political dues. I don't have a mindset that I need to decide things one way or the other than what is fair and what is presented in the courtroom. I think that uniquely qualifies me, again, together with the 30 years of broad experience that I've had, contrasted to, again, my opponents who may not have had that broad experience handling cases in all legal matters. I have that. And again, I think that that works for the people of this district, the people who deserve a judge who is independent. I am truly that independent choice.
And you've covered that very well. I do believe you're being known as the people's judge out there in the community. So why do you believe that to be the case?
Sure, Jason. I began this quest for, again, serving the people as their judge of Division F 2 years ago, October 2018. Of course, obviously meeting with people, getting together, of course, before COVID, before we had, of course, the opportunity to meet in large groups, and both meeting with former clients, friends of former clients, family of former clients. I've often been told, Ms. Keith, you've always helped the people. When I interviewed with Mr. Burt Willis for my position as an associate attorney with him, again, that has always stuck with me to this day. As chief, we help the people. If they have a fighting chance, we do that. And that has stuck with me for the past 30 years. I want to continue that. Again, I have the independence, I have the legal knowledge, I have basically the work experiences, life experiences that I think would very well suit me to be, again, your judge of Division F.
Great. Thank you so much. With the time that we have remaining, convince our listeners on why they should vote for you, Mr. Keith Thibodeaux.
Thank you again, Jason. Again, thank you very much for having me here today, first off. Thank you to all of the listeners, all of the viewers. Thank you for your time and considering me. What I want to stress is I'm a man of faith. I am happily married to my wife of 37 years. We have 4 beautiful children, 2 beautiful grandchildren. We all reside here in the district. I have always served my community. I am not only a member, but a board member of our local Kiwanis group, also a member of a local Rotary group. I am a lifetime parishioner of St. Rita's Catholic Church. I served there both as usher, and we aid in the annual church fair. These experiences, together with, again, my lifetime of having served the people as their particular attorney in all legal matters for all people, I believe serves me well. I want to take those life experiences and that work experience of 30 years of helping people and transfer that to the other side of the bench. Obviously, I've always represented people from this side of the bench as an attorney for the people. I believe having those experiences uniquely allows me to become a judge who will fairly, honestly, with hard work, effort, serve each and every one of you. If there's nothing else that I've learned, Jason, I've learned this in the past 30 years. When a person is called into court, whether that's a civil or a criminal matter, it's often a time of much challenge to them, much nervousness. I want to be that judge who you can understand will listen to you without any outside influence, listen to the facts, put in all the hard work, all of the research that's necessary, so that when you walk out of that courtroom, no matter what the decision may be from me, you will be able to tell yourself that was a fair shake. That is, he at least allowed me the opportunity. He was prepared, he was fair, he was compassionate. Again, I have that to offer the people of the 16th Judicial District Court. I ask and humbly request your vote and support come November 3rd. I want to serve as your judge, the people's candidate for judge for Division F right here in the 16th Judicial District Court. Bien merci encore. Thank you again. God bless. Thank you.
And thank all of you for attending and listening into our chamber chat today. We appreciate that. We appreciate your support. And also a big thank you again to Mr. Keith Thibodeaux, campaigning for District Judge Division F. Thank you for attending today.
Thank you, Jason, very much for your time. Thank you.